Hey there, I'm Paul Mark, host of Transcend Coffee video blog and owner and founder of Transcend Coffee in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And today we're doing our second video blog. And today I want to talk about a single origin coffee, or we just got into a debate this morning about whether we're talking single origin or single estate, because origin can be a pretty big place. But today I want to talk about Panama, and specifically about a single estate in Panama, and namely Hacienda La Esmeralda. You may or may not know about this name of coffee. This coffee. It's a pretty famous coffee, actually, one of the most expensive coffees in the world. And that's not really why I want to talk about that coffee, though. Given that we started last time with a little bit of history of where Transcend came from and how I got my start in coffee, I thought I would talk about Hacienda La Esmeralda because really it was the first coffee farm that I really sort of got a chance to go to and visit when I was in Panama last year in April. I was there, had been invited to go judge the Best of Panama, which was a huge honor for me. And after that event, which was a blast, and I learned so much about judging coffee, and especially Panamanian coffees, I spent the next couple of days just traveling around the country a little bit in the coffee region around Volcan Baru. That's the volcano up in the region next to Costa Rica, where the coffee grows mostly in Panama. And specifically, I ended up over in Boquete and ended up visiting Hacienda La Esmeralda, which is a coffee farm owned by the Petersons. Since then, I've been back. I was back there again this year in February, visiting Panama during the mini blizzard, or mini hurricane that I had talked about on the Sin Limitless video that we did. And in all honesty, that farm has a lot of draw for me. It's I refer to not really believing in love at first sight, and yet for me, honestly, going to Panama last year was something akin to love at first sight. My first trip to origin really did sort of warm my heart, and there will always be Panama will always be a special place for me in terms of coffee, just because it was my first time at origin. And in all honesty, I've developed a pretty good relationship, I think, as well a relationship as can be developed with a producer when I only see them maybe once a year. But the Petersons, to me, are special people, and I want to talk about why I think they're special people and what makes the coffee that they sell as extraordinary as it is. One of the main things that strikes me about the quality that we find in Hacienda La Esmeralda and the Esmeralda Special is due to the way they manage their farm during the year. They're very fastidious about how they manage their growth and how they manage the plantation. And they're very, very careful about how they harvest that coffee. They've been selling that coffee now and entering that coffee in the Best of Panama for a number of years. And the reality is, each time they enter the Best of Panama competition, they win with the Esmeralda. They enter a varietal called the Geisha, and that coffee itself is unique. A special coffee. It's sort of developed some cult status, which is arguably a good thing or a bad thing. It really depends who you ask in the industry. Some people love the Geisha, and other people think it's a faddish coffee. The reality is it's a flavor profile of a coffee that I personally appreciate. I'm probably a little bit biased, in all honesty, when it comes to the Geisha, but it's a unique flavor profile in the world of specialty coffee that is just sort of starting to stretch its legs a little bit. But getting back to Hacienda La Esmeralda and the Petersons, one of the reasons why I really love the coffee and what they do there is not just because of the coffee they produce and the great quality they produce, because they pick so fastidiously and they pick ripe, but it's the way they do what they do. They're very conscientious about the facilities that exist on their farm that house the pickers, for example. They've got a nursery on their farm, when pickers, who are largely sort of nomadic, come to their farm to pick during harvest season, they always bring their children. And the children have a place not only to be while their parents are out picking coffee, but they're also looked after, they're fed, and they're given some form of education, which I think is an amazing thing. And that's really what excites me about the potential of developing relationships with growers at origin, is that we're looking not only to find great quality coffee, but we're also looking to find people that care as much about how they do it as we do. And it's that story, again, seed to cup story, that's really important to me, because not only is Esmeralda an amazing coffee, and I love the flavor of that coffee, and we're going to brew some here in just a little while and taste it. But it's also about the fact that they care about the process, and that's equally as important to me as well. So that's really what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about today in terms of this great farm in Panama, in the Boquete area of Panama.